thanks for joining me. Can you believe that we are technically still in winter here in Bodrum? Everywhere I look around, there are signs of spring right around the corner. And if you didn't look at the calendar, you'd think it was already here. Luckily, I'm still enjoying the lovely winter citruses while they last, but trees all around seem to be blooming with beautiful flowers and smells. Although we recently had some colder weather here, it looks like temperatures are rising again to normal. Blue skies beckon for you to come outside, and with weather like this, it's hard to say no. Each Saturday, there's a large farmer's market in downtown Bodrum, and it was the perfect day to get out of the house and enjoy a little walk around, as well as stock up on some necessities. Produce changes with the seasons, so it's always best to get things you love while they're available. Of course, certain items remain around year-long, but regardless, I always find the fruits and veggies at the farmer's market to be much fresher and in better condition than anything that you can get at the grocery store. Farmers markets like this aren't very abundant in the US, and even though I find the grocery store produce to be much better in the US than in Turkey, I still much prefer the Turkish farmers market. In addition to the more sensible prices, the market is just an overall more exciting experience than any grocery store. Okay, with the exception of Costco, maybe. Did you know that Turkey has a domestic variety of banana? It's cheaper than imported ones, and I think the taste is just the same. Plus, I like the miniature size. Normally, in fall and winter, you'll find pumpkin readily available, but it's not for carving. In Turkey, pumpkin is used in cooking, and there are some delicious desserts made with pumpkin as well. I wanted to pick some up to make into a puree for Fig, and I freeze it into little cubes and then thaw a few each morning to add to some yogurt for her breakfast. It was approved by her vet, and she looks forward to it every day. this worker at the farmer's market is not a vendor, but instead this person serving tea. In Turkey, tea is life, and at every market I've been to, there's always someone running around like crazy, serving vendors and patrons piping hot little glasses of chai. Sometimes at the market, you're even able to get fresh tahini. Tahini is made from ground sesame and has a sort of nutty flavor. You'll often find it in desserts, and it's also a staple of a classic Turkish breakfast. While in the city, we also wanted to check out this little restaurant located by the bus station downtown, and actually right below the area where the farmers market is held. This was a City of Bodrum Lokanta style restaurant aimed at providing affordable meals. We saw them advertising it online after having just opened, so we thought we'd check it out and see what it was like. Anyone is welcome, but it mostly seemed to be filled with retired aged men. The meal was 100 Turkish lira, which is roughly $2.75 with today's exchange rate. There was plenty of seating, and we chose to sit outside in the warm winter sun. The meal consisted of a small side salad, bulgur, which is a type of grain common here in Turkey, a sort of stew with chicken, and then a piece of bread and a mandarin. All in all, I couldn't complain. It was pretty good given the price. Oh, and I've noticed that in Turkey, you almost always leave your dishes and utensils on the table after eating at a restaurant, even at establishments that are a bit more self-serve, fast food, or even in a mall food court. With the exception of table service restaurants, in the US I've always been used to putting away my own dishes and garbage, but here you leave it on the table and a worker will pick it up for you. What's it like in your country? After returning home, I unpacked the goodies from the bazaar. I usually like to wash all of my produce right away and prep as much as I can ahead of time. Sometimes it takes me a while, but I love to just put on a podcast and do all of the work right away. That way, during the week, I spend less time prepping and cleaning up a mess every day. For me, it's just easier to get it all done at once. In the past, I've done more in-depth market reviews where I go over prices of all the items I purchase and show how much things are selling for currently. I didn't do that this time around, but if you're interested in seeing updated prices, let me know and I can try to film something like that in the future. Recently, I attempted to roast my very first whole chicken. Back in the US, I used to buy a Costco rotisserie chicken every week. We'd eat part, but inevitably Fig would get some too, and it was always great for leftovers. However, meat is much more expensive in Turkey, but when I saw this whole chicken on sale at the grocery store, I figured I might as well take a stab at my own. I just sort of winged it with different veggies and herbs, and it really turned out great. I'll have to make this again. Walk, we came across an elderly gentleman I've seen walking nearly every day with his donkey. We stopped for a chat as his donkey chomped away at the grass. It's always interesting to talk to a local. He told us a bit of his story and how much things have changed here over the years. And of course, he shared some village gossip, which I always find especially fun. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this little video. I really appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more from my perspective as an American living in Turkey, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Until next time, thanks!